we're fighting a cultural war.
How do you engage with the local community?
Ultimately, we want to work with artists that influence the culture. You have to be able to integrate, make the community beneficial. If you were born and raised in Ethiopia, if you have Ethiopian parents, by definition, what you make will have some Ethiopianness. We're thinking Africa, we're thinking the world. So 10 of us and 100 of us is not gonna cut. BBC brings a bunch of videographers and only does the monkey. We need to tell our own story. We just take the best and not everything.
I think it'd be nice to know how you actually got into sound system DJing.
I'm a select. DJ is mostly referred to like clubs and you know, big events in a way that, you know, people who open up and also perform like as a performer, DJs as a performance, like, you know, they have their own set. So selectors, the word, the lingo that we use. And so it's not based on, you don't play music back to back, or like, it's not about that, or it's not about the transition. So it's about the word and holding up the vibe and the chanting. And so it's okay, you know, music stops halfway through and there's someone saying something. Or you play one song for an hour because people like that song so much, they want to hear it or they want to sing over it. So one MC will come and say, he's going to do a flow. And then he says, wind up. So we rewind that and then, so 30 minutes, 45 minutes it can go. You know, those rhythms that everybody want to sing on. And even in popular, you know, Proto J will sing on it, Chronic, Sizzla, those type of beats that everybody. So selecting is more like narrating a story.
Okay.
So, and usually through the messages of peace and that whole unity that the Rastafarian culture presents, based off of the Ethiopian culture, the Ethiopian religion, because reggae sings about earthly things like cars or women or money. So dub is really spiritual. So most of the things that you hear is spiritual from context, biblical references to certain things. So something that upholds and uplifts.
So you'd say it's conscious.
Yeah. So reggae, you know, is going this way. Dancehall went into the club.
Yeah.
Dub went into the meditation and.
So that's a nice one.
Yeah, you know, like you can think it that way. Yeah.
That's lovely. What challenges do you face as a sound system DJ, and how do you overcome them? When we say a sound system, we're talking about.
It's a crew.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So when
just so people.
So a DJ comes. And he has a flash drive, or he can play from a phone, or a nice Serato, or anything. A sound system, a selector is a crew. Okay. It's a team, because I can't physically stack up those speakers by myself. So I need at least, to run the whole session, at least 8, 9, 10 people. Even on the control tower, as I'm selecting, I need a sound engineer. And an MC, or I have to do both. So big professionals, like when we bring King Shailu, one of the big names from Europe, when we bring him, he always brings Mati. So Neil is there, Mati is always there, because Neil will focus on engaging with the crowd. They have an MC Red Line who's on the mic, but Neil is thinking about the songs and the selections and everything. Mati is tuning, fine-tuning right there, like, because every song is different. Also, we're playing vinyls from the 60s, vinyl from the 80s. They're old, so each song needs to tweaking. Yes. So that kind of mentality is a team effort, and even setting up, tearing down the speakers, and you know. So it's from that context that dub, and it's a little different, like the selections. For example, our specific challenge is venues. Venues, because they couldn't handle the sound. Everywhere we go, there's something, man, like roof crack, or it's strong. These are strong speakers, I'm telling you.
And how many of them?
Sound system is measured on the scoops, on the bass scoops.
Oh, so not by how many speakers you have.
So how many bass scoops you have. So we have 8. So it's an 8-scoop sound system. So
in layman terms, so we can understand what that means, what is the average versus what is yours, so we can understand how.
Let's talk about watts. So I think that gives a perfect. So we are playing, let's say, on one session. What we do every Adash Dub Club every month, we only use 6 of those 8 speakers. Okay, those 6 speakers are generating about 25,000 watts. So it's loud, like it's very loud, but you don't get no...
The ringing.
Yeah, you've been there.
Yes.
So imagine if we add 2 more, right? So it's a concrete place that we have this Adash Dub Club monthly. So nothing breaks,
nothing shakes.
It's a basement, it's an underground thing. So we're confident nothing goes wrong. But in the other venues that we've had in Adash, something went wrong. Villa Verde, roof blown up. So in fact, 2019 Adash Dub Club, so Guest List is an international event, they do rating, reviews, and so they were here and we didn't know. They don't tell you, obviously.
That they're there.
They were there somehow. Guest List wrote, literally, like Adash Dub Club literally blows the roof off. That was the headline. It says Ethiopia, Adash Dub Club, literally. So Villa Verde roof on. When we organized that Bole Fana, there was this little room, all windows, literally, all windows shut.
Blew up.
Where else? At the venue warehouse. So some of the sound treatments came down. So our bottleneck is a location, 3-phase power supply that we have to. So we run it off of a generator. So it's portable, we can move anything. So, but the best concerts that we've done is outside. In Gion, or the street festivals that we do, or in Atlangano. So that you have no sound limits, you can just blast. When you do that, when we run the 8 scoops, it gets up to 30,000 watts.
And a normal watts is to a speaker?
To a normal speaker, 150 watts.
Okay. Yeah. So at least we know what we're playing with now.
So if you bring one of those, big, nice Sony, one of those classic, vintage, looking ones, there's 150 watts, 150 watts.
Wow.
So 300 watts.
How do you engage with the local community through your art, and what impact do you hope to make?
Initially, when I came to Ethiopia, I wanted to work in creative industry with creative artists, either visually helping them, branding, making videos and promotional materials, or also producing musical contents. How I want to kind of communicate and how I do that is through different, for example, ultimately, we want to work with artists that influence the culture. So we want to allow them to influence the culture by producing music or visual content for them. That's one. So influencing culture in a sense that what I earlier communicated about becoming that East African hub or shining from the East African context, not specifically from Ethiopia, but even bringing in different talents to Ethiopia and making festivals and different, being the hub. So we want to be that. I want to be able to create that or help people who create that. So within our studio, we have different departments. The departments that work with talents, department that work with talents in a sense, the modeling and the visual acting. And so we hold auditions for different TV shows and movies. And we also have a music studio that we record different artists and trying to work and brand artists and singers and instrumentalists, including your husband, Tedisha, instrumentalists, and also people that nobody knows.
Yeah.
Like people that are just coming up, that we believe that they can put a significance within the music industry. And also within the pottery realm, right? So working with women and after school programs and teaching. So within those firms, rather than running a huge manufacturing ceramic studio, I actually want to work with individuals and integrating the culture within the, let's say, the status quo. So after school programs for people who have the cash but don't really have a lot of means outside of music and painting. That's what they give their kids. So we want to offer. So with that money, with those, we want to help and monetize women, bring them under us and trying to monetize them and train them. And at the end of their training, give them startup kits. Maybe it's a banding wheel or connect them, market links, you know. So within those, that's how we want to run the ceramic. But ultimately, we will have our own manufacturing. And
right, eventually.
Yeah. So we also have now earlier, you know, our bottleneck is a location for the things that we do. So the location thing is kind of settled. Now we have a land in Langano that we're starting to develop that will help us with our pottery, where we're already doing sound system festivals in it on there. Our studio name is called Rasache. It means ourself or us, so or our head. It has different meanings.
Exactly.
So, like Fubu, for us by us, like Rasachin, Barasachin, Larasachin. So, you know, we have these models and we're making movies, and our TV actresses and actors can make our own movie. And for that movie, we have a sound studio that can do the score. And for that sound system festival, we have a land and location in Langano. So we want to link each of them, and we want to also have a little farm in Langano. So we already start building and getting the water supply. Farm in a sense, we want to raise goats in different ways. So each will, so eventually we want to build these sound stages, like big halls where you can build anything. Let's say you can build a whole city, let's say a whole city mock, you know, like, or you can build a living room and shoot a sitcom there, or like, so
I got you.
big sound stages for photos and videos. Yeah, so that's where the Langano.
Because apparently when we do movies, we don't build our sets.
No, we don't build our sets.
So that's a good.
Yeah. So in order to do that, but at the same time, you know, we have to be wise enough, because the film industry is one of the most wasteful industry. So how do we do that? And, you know, still, and how do we integrate the local community again? So let's say, you know, we'll really change the culture if you introduce certain things like that within a local community. So you have to be able to integrate, make the community beneficial too. And also you build a set for one shoot, and where all is that wood and all of those cloth, and where are they going to go? So we kind of have to be also think of the responsibility of environmentally friendliness and all of those, you know. So we have to live, we just take the best and not everything, just because Nigeria is facing the same thing right now. So they're wasting too much, and where is this set going to go?
No, but when you build a set, or when you have a space to build sets, you're reusing everything. You're not going to use it today and get rid of it and then go out buying for the next. You have to be able to stack everything and be able to reuse them. Otherwise, then there's no point.
True. Reuse, repurposing.
Absolutely. You have to. How did Hollywood do it?
They keep everything.
That's what I'm saying.
They keep everything. That's the
we have to.
Yeah. That's because they want a collector's item.
I know.
So we need to take only the good.
What we need.
And we need to make it our own way, you know? So, yeah.
What role do you think photography and videography play in promoting Ethiopian culture and showcasing the beauty of our country?
We're fighting a cultural war.
Exactly.
So, and that's fought through putting yourself out, showing what you have and who you are. And that's done through medias, right? So in the past, it was a mass media. So it's been monopolized, and someone has to say, okay, for our history to be shared. So now we've moved away from those traditional forms of media, and we've gotten to social media, where you can reach fast and quick. Within this sphere, again, earlier, South Africans are fighting the good fight of Amapiano, culturally, representation, right? America, number one thing that it exports a year is its culture through music and movies and fashion. Europe, the same. Nigeria started doing that. Burna Boy's in Hollywood and California. sold out shows and everything, right? So cultural representation in movies, The Lion King, the whole soundtrack, Beyonce is in it. Cultural representation Nigeria gets. When it comes to Ethiopia, we've been fighting the running fight. So we have the legacy of Muruz Iftar and Ababa Bikila and all of those, right? Mamo Wolde, Haile, Kananisa. We can name
I know
lots.
There's lots of them,
right?
yeah.
So when it comes to the fight in the visual thing, you can only name 2 people. In the visual thing, Haile Garima. In the music thing, Gash Mulatu. At least Julie Mehratu's coming.
Yep,
right? At least becoming more exposing, right? But I feel like she's very disconnected within the Ethiopian community that she has. I don't know how often she comes visits, but we don't see the Ethiopian cultural representation in her work, or it's very little far, I say. But we're lacking that. So it's very important now that our movies, our stories. So when the music video comes, people would understand. One of the things that everybody asks me when I play in that music video is this in Ethiopia? Everybody, is this a green screen or is this Ethiopia? Because those kind of shots are not expected from Abbi, an Ethiopian. It's expected from BBC or CNN or a foreign media because of the budget and the bureaucracy that it takes to go to Afar
and actually
do that, right? So BBC brings a bunch of videographers and only does the monkeys. They don't cover anything decent, honestly, man. I get pissed. So we need to tell our own stories.
Absolutely.
We need to go to the places. We need to go to the people. We know them better. We speak their language. We understand the context. We have the right intention. That's the most important part, is the intention. So I feel like, my fellow Ethiopian would not hurt his own brother. Like,
right.
So
we would like to think that.
I would still like
exactly.
to think that. So
exactly.
Intention, we need to set our intention as a nation, as a continental giant, as a continental powerhouse. So we need to kind of have this mentality and this attitude and fight the cultural war.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought it up because, Fatoumata, Fatoumata Diawari, who's a Malian singer, actually did one of her videos in Afar.
Yep.
And that just shows you the beauty of Africa, somebody from all over, from the West,
Mali.
Thinking of, oh my God, this is going to be amazing.
Imagine. Mali and Afar, by geography, are not that different. She has amazing deserts.
I know.
If she wanted sand,
absolutely.
She could have stayed there.
Absolutely. Okay? But she chose Ethiopia, and on top of it, Afar.
Yeah.
So being able, the bottom line that I'm trying to get to is that we have plenty of places that we could be using in our videos or our film if we are creative.
So Rimon came shot in Afar. Actually, one of my good friends is in that music video. Kalela came and shot in Afar. And
so Afar is busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you hope viewers and listeners take away from experiencing your diverse range of artistic expressions?
So I hope viewers can take that. One thing that I want them to take is that if I'm doing this, that means I need help, or there are not a lot of people doing it. So I want people to do it more. I want more musicians. I want more potters. I want more filmmakers, because 10 of us is not going to be enough. No. Like 100 of us is not going to be enough. So I want the 1,000 Daptara projects, whatever weird genres people are in, trip hop, whatever, house, make it representational. Put whatever you make within Ethiopia. If you were born and raised in Ethiopia, if you have Ethiopian parents, by definition, what you make will have some Ethiopianness. So just capitalize on that, right? Because it worked once in Ethiopia and in the world. It works. Gash Mulatu showed us it works. Our music works globally. It's just we just need to keep up and translate it in different genres, right? So what I want people to take it is that I'm doing and I'm making money and I'm being successful and I'm making contacts and I'm making an impact, doing all of these things. So imagine if I can only focus in one thing,
of them.
right? So it's not because I am the best, it's not because I am the most skillful. It's because there's nobody doing it. There's literally nobody doing it. So when I say nobody, there's 10 of us. Like just like hand counting like a
Yeah,
child.
you're right. You might as well say there's nobody.
Because
I mean, we have a 5 million
yes, we're
population right here in Adash.
Yeah,
so
we're thinking Africa. We're thinking the world. So 10 of us and 100 of us is not gonna cut it, right? So Kanye West makes 30 songs a day, and probably one of it is good. Nigerians, they've been making 100 songs every day. At least 2 of them, we hear them every day in a club. Will we be successful? Are we making 100 movies every 6 months? Can we make that? Are we making albums after albums? So, you know.
Do you think making them is a problem, or what our intention is, or what kind of a market, or whose ears or whose eyes are we trying to make this for? Because I think the subject matter also matters.
I beg to differ. Is that the right way? So
go ahead.
Both the first 2 options are correct for me.
Yeah.
Intentionality. If we're making it from the intention of making money or being famous or getting women or traveling, maybe that's not the right intention, because you can make money faster by selling furniture or something like that. So, and the second thing is we're not making it, in a sense that what's the cycle of an album? It takes a few years, literally a few years to make an album. Yeah. What does that mean? Like,
why does it take that long?
One, the challenges of the discipline, the intention, the infrastructure. So, for example, in my own experience, so I'm holding everybody that I'm making music for over like 7 months now, because of we have to get new gear, we have to these minor things that should be accessible here, but they're not. So we have to rely on someone to bring us from the US or from Europe, or we don't have dollar access. We have the cash, but how can I get it? You know, so PayPal, do we have PayPal here? There's still conversation. So these kind of things, again, power outages, disk failures, like lots of things that people give, or not being able to be on one page and having the right goal for that project. So while the music is being produced, a producer and a singer gets vexed or something, and this project is dropped, and this person goes to a different producer, and so on, so on. So there's so many reasons that we can name. But, and also, the tradition or like the culture is that when someone is about to release a song, they hear who's about to release it. And if a famous singer is about to release it, they'll hold the album. You know, so this is the kind of trends that we've accustomed to. But imagine if making it, you make it and let the world judge, whatever good or bad. You just have to keep making it, and that's one of the things that I realized about Gash Mulatu again. So he was making Ethiopian music, and it was not translating well because he was using religious music like Some Dugwa with Teros Tadese. He's bringing Southern cultural influences from Omo region with their whole traditional naked attire, right? So little beads and to the Ethiopian. So that was seen a little conflicting or like a little rubby with the status quo, right?
Exactly.
So he was a little, imagine if he stopped there. Imagine if he gave up then. He just kept pushing, and we still haven't really realized those music, you know what I mean? it's recently that Gash Mulat really started getting appreciation within Ethiopia.
Our own community.
Right? So maybe what we make now is going to pay us 40 years later. We don't know that. Again, your husband, Admas, when Abagaz, Henok, and Teddy made that album in 1985, was only a record produced. They forgot about it. 2017? 2019, something like that. It was
when
rediscovered
revived
by this British
got
or
dusted.
Polish guy. Yeah.
He was Danish, I think. I know, it's very interesting.
So you just have to keep making.
Exactly, you never know.
Put it out, put it out, put it out.
That's very true.
That's it. We don't keep doing that. The Nigerians do. The South Africans do. Right? So that's why yeah.
So basically your end of the conversation would be keep bringing them out, and no matter what creative arena you are in, you just keep bringing them out.
Yeah. So Minilik Zargapach is an artist. That recording took 19 songs, 3 months. Teddy Shah, recording 3 months. 32 songs, right? My personal project, Deptara, 3 volumes in 1 year. 3 EPs in 1 year. So I'm doing all of these while I'm doing the pottery, while I'm doing the music video and stuff. So that's one of the things that I want to end is like the field is open. Especially Rofnan now, thanks to him, he brought the magnifying glass to East Africa. We need to capitalize on these kind of opportunities. The field is open for anybody like me with a weird genre like dub to shine from East Africa and go. And what else? Who else? Because now, opportunities again
are opening up.
Yep.
Well, Abbi, I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you.
And I hope this year brings you much fruitfulness.
Awesome. And this fruitfulness, actually, this year we started a YouTube channel. So
brilliant.
If people want to keep following what we're doing, we have a YouTube channel, Abbi Girma, and it got 2,000 subscribers in 2 days.
Wow.
So we're really capitalizing. We already have nice videos there. And so that's how we kind of would approach it, because now I'm learning that I need to kind of start sharing what I've been doing, because everybody hears the conversations or my experiences and would want to know more. So, and that's the best way to kind of share it.
Thank you again for watching us. This is your Pan-African show called Africa with your host, Kazalor Sefu. Thank you again.